Here's another powerful technique. Don't oppose the logic. Extend it. This is called reductio ad absurdum, reducing an argument to absurdity by following it to its logical conclusion. If the end result is ridiculous, the original premise must be flawed. Example: someone says, "We shouldn't trust scientists. They keep changing their conclusions." Emotional response: "You're anti-science." Intelligent response: "So, by that logic, we should only trust people who never update their beliefs, even when new evidence appears?" Pause. Let that sink in. You didn't insult them. You didn't reject their point. You simply took it seriously. And when their own reasoning leads to a crazy place, the audience sees the flaw. Another example. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear from surveillance. Intelligent reply: "So you'd be fine if I had access to your passwords, messages, and bank history right now?" Same idea. Take the principle seriously. Apply it consistently. Let the absurdity reveal itself. This method is devastating because it doesn't require you to bring your own opinion. You just let their logic speak for itself. And when logic speaks honestly, weak ideas collapse. Every argument rests on assumptions, usually invisible ones. Intelligent people have a radar for these. They don't argue the surface claim, they go underneath. Example: if we raise the minimum wage, businesses will fail. Hidden assumptions: all businesses operate on razor-thin margins. No adjustments can be made. Prices, efficiency, automation. Worker poverty is less important than business survival. An intelligent response? That assumes businesses can't adapt in any way. What evidence supports that? Suddenly, the discussion isn't about wages anymore. It's about whether the foundation holds. You're not attacking their conclusion. You're questioning whether their reasoning supports it. And that's far more effective. Another example. We can't help refugees. They'll drain our resources. Hidden assumptions. Refugees don't contribute economically. National resources are fixed. Compassion is a liability. Response. That assumes refugees are net burdens. Do you have data showing long-term economic impact? Again, no drama, just audit. Once you expose a weak assumption, the whole argument wobbles. Schopenhauer knew, attack the base and the tower falls. Now we come to the most underrated weapon, not arguing at all. Intelligent people understand this. Attention is power. Some arguments aren't about truth. They're about attention, reaction, chaos. And when you engage, you feed them. Schopenhauer said, "There is no opinion, however absurd, which men will not readily embrace as soon as they can be brought to the conviction that it is generally adopted." Translation: many people don't care about truth. They care about belonging, about winning, about being seen. When you argue with them, you give them exactly what they want. So what do intelligent people do? They disengage. Not with anger, not with sarcasm, just calm non-participation. A simple, "I don't think this conversation is productive. We're not going to agree, and that's okay." Or even silence. Because here's the paradox. The less you react, the faster a bad argument dies. Stupid arguments need fuel. Denial is fuel. Anger is fuel. Correction is fuel. Silence? Silence starves them. And when you walk away calmly, you don't lose. You win by refusing to play. Now you have the tools, but timing matters. Use clarification when the argument is emotional and vague. Goal: force specificity. Use reductio ad absurdum when the logic sounds reasonable on the surface but leads to extreme outcomes. Goal: reveal internal contradiction. Use expose assumptions when The argument seems structured but rests on shaky foundations. Goal: shift focus from conclusion to reasoning. Use silence when the person is arguing in bad faith or the audience doesn't matter. Goal: conserve energy and maintain dignity. Because here's a key insight Schopenhauer understood. Public arguments are rarely about convincing your opponent. They're about influencing the observers, colleagues, friends, online viewers. Your real goal isn't to change the mind of the person shouting. It's to show everyone watching what intelligent discourse looks like. One person yelling, one person asking clear questions. Who looks rational? Who looks in control? That's where true power lies. But if there's no audience, if the person will never change their mind, then silence is the highest form of intelligence. Save your energy. Choose your battles.
Have you ever been in an argument where the other person was clearly wrong, but no matter what you said, they just wouldn't listen? You stay calm. You use logic. You clarify your point. And still, they get louder. They attack you personally. They twist your words until you start doubting yourself. Now think of someone truly intelligent. Someone who doesn't raise their voice, doesn't react emotionally, and with one simple question, dismantles the entire argument. No shouting, no insults, just clarity. That's not luck. That's strategy. And it comes from a 19th century philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer, who wrote a brutally honest book called The Art of Being Right, a guide to the hidden tactics people use in arguments, not to find truth, but to win. In this script, I'll show you how intelligent people use Schopenhauer's principles to destroy bad arguments, not with aggression, but with precision, silence, and unshakable calm. Arthur Schopenhauer wasn't like other philosophers. While others spoke of virtue, reason, and progress, he looked at human nature without illusions. He saw that most people don't argue to discover truth. They argue to protect their ego. They argue to feel superior. They argue to win. And because of that, they will use any trick, emotional manipulation, distraction, personal attacks to avoid being proven wrong. Schopenhauer called this heuristic dialectic, the art of winning an argument by any means necessary. His book lists 38 such tricks, from attacking the person to using vague language to appealing to authority. But here's the twist. When you know these tricks, you stop falling for them. You stop reacting emotionally. And better yet, you can turn them around, expose them, and dismantle weak arguments before they even gain momentum. Because intelligent people understand something most don't. The moment you get emotional, you've already lost. Bad arguments thrive on chaos. Intelligent responses thrive on clarity. So let's talk about how to respond, not emotionally, but strategically. Before we look at tactics, you must understand the battlefield. Schopenhauer identified two kinds of debate. Dialectic, a genuine search for truth through logical exchange. Heuristic, a battle to win, regardless of truth. In a perfect world, every conversation would be dialectic. Two minds meet, ideas are tested, one or both change their views. But in reality, most arguments are heuristic. People have already decided what they believe. Now they're just defending it. Think about the last political argument you saw online. Was anyone actually open to changing their mind? Or were both sides just looking for ammunition? This is why just present facts fails. You're playing chess, they're playing war. Intelligent people don't waste energy trying to win an heuristic fight. Instead, they do one of two things: refuse to play on the opponent's terms or expose the game being played. They don't fight the surface. They control the structure. Let me show you how. Most weak arguments survive because they're built on vague, emotionally charged language. Listen closely to how many arguments rely on undefined words. That's not fair. Everyone knows that. It's common sense. This always happens. What does fair mean? Who is everyone? Which common sense? Does always mean literally every single time? Intelligent people don't attack these claims head-on. They simply ask, what exactly do you mean by that? Watch what happens. The person has to define their terms, and the moment they do, the argument often collapses. Example. Someone says, immigrants are taking all our jobs. Emotional response. That's racist. Intelligent response. When you say all, what percentage are you referring to, and which industries specifically? No anger, no insult, just a request for clarity. Now the speaker must move from emotion to precision. And if their belief was based on feeling rather than fact, specificity becomes its enemy. Schopenhauer called this demanding the ground of an assertion. Make them show their foundation. Most of the time, there isn't one. Another example. You can't trust anything the media says. Response. Which outlet specifically? And what evidence do you have that they're systematically lying? Same principle. Vagueness dies under scrutiny. Precision kills nonsense.